Let us now look at a meaning of a few important terms, which is basically your axis, vertex, focal chord, double ordinate, lattice rectum, and center. Remember, these meanings I'm discussing with respect to parabolas right now, but it's valid for all conics that we're going to study. So the concept that you develop here, the meaning, the way you learn axis here is the meaning that you develop for axis here. It has the same meaning when you study ellipse or when you study hyperbola. Axis, the meaning of axis will never change, right? So, what is axis? As you know, parabola is a conic. So, to a conic, you always have this fixed line called directrix from where your conic develops, and you have this fixed point called focus, right? Now, the line which passes through the focus and is perpendicular to the directrix, and obviously it cuts through your cone, it cuts through your conic. This line is called your axis. So what are the two conditions? Your axis must be perpendicular to the directrix and it must pass through focus. If these two conditions are held, then obviously it will obviously cut the conic and basically it will be called your axis. Coming to the vertex. So you have a conic here, which is your parabola. It is striking the axis. It has some axis, right? The point where your conic strikes the axis, this is called your vertex. So point of intersection of axis and conic, that is basically your vertex. Coming to focal chord. So focal chord is very simple. Any chord which passes through the focus. So for a parabola, your focus is always in the middle, like it looks like this, and this is how your parabola extends in both directions, right? So any chord which passes through the focus, right? All these chords which are passing through the focus are your focal chords. So focal chord passes through the focus, right? The focal chord passes through the focus, and obviously it strikes the conic in 2 points. That will always happen. Just like a circle has a chord where the chord intersects the circle in 2 points. Here also your chord is intersecting in 2 points, is that this chord has to pass through this fixed point called focus, and then it will be called a focal chord. Coming to double ordinate. So this is a parabola which is a conic. So double ordinate is basically a straight line that is drawn perpendicular to the axis and terminates at both ends of the curve, right? So this is your axis, and you have these lines which are perpendicular to your axis, right? And they terminate at 2 points. So all these terminate at 2 points. So double ordinate terminates at 2 points and is perpendicular to the axis. So that's how it goes when it comes to double coordinate. Coming to this very important term called lattice rectum. What do you mean by this term called lattice rectum? So you have an axis basically. So you have an axis. On this axis you have a focus. And you have a lot of double ordinates. Which pass, but there is this one double ordinate. Which is passing through the focus. So this is called your lattice rectum. So lattice rectum is the double ordinate. Lattice rectum is a double ordinate which passes through focus. That's how simple the definition is. Coming to this last thing called center. Now the thing is, a parabola has no center, so I can't show it to you in terms of parabola. But the point that bisects every chord of the conic passing through it is called the center. So let me explain you with a circle only. Right. So in a circle, you have this point in the middle, which is basically called your center. What is unique about this center? The point that's unique is every chord which passes through this, every chord which passes through this is bisected into two halves, right? So every chord passing through this point is bisected. So you have a point, every chord which passes through this point is bisected into two halves. That's why this point is called the center. And for a parabola, you don't have a center, right? So that's a note. A parabola has no center, but ellipse, hyperbola and circle, they all have centers. So we've already seen the center of a circle. When we study ellipse and hyperbola, we'll be studying centers of ellipse and hyperbolas as well. But for parabolas, we won't, because there are no centers. There is no center which exists for a parabola. So with the study of these important terms done, let's move on to the standard equation of a parabola.